Hello fellow WoW players and welcome to On Cooldown, the place where we look at reality through a magnifying glass, and today we will talk about the state of WoW, what is going on with BFA, Warfronts, was our video really needed, and of course the usual hotfixes. I'm glad you guys are here with me today because it's been some week and we need to talk. Last week we had the Battle for Stormguard scenario open for the Horde, where we went in and gathered resources, built bases and recruit troops, all of this to be used to crush the puny alliance in their precious little walled off castle. Feeling a little Horde biased? I love all and every race, except the fucking turtles, who still have trouble getting into the water.
A turtle made it to the water.
But have no trouble fighting Naga and Loa and all God's minions. But I digress. After a few Warfronts, we could essentially gear up with 340 item level gear, which helped me skip normal and heroic dungeons and hop right into mythic dungeons. Was this okay? Was this how I wanted to play the game? More on this later. But after a few days of me getting all the gear I needed, Blizzard has changed Warfront, gating the scenario behind the 320 item level requirement. It at least justifies getting the guaranteed 340 gear by completing it, but creates other problems on its own. We've seen hotfixes consistently, and we won't be talking too much about these today, except the fact that it's nice to see them being constantly on top of balance and bugs, because boy, do we need a lot of stuff fixed. A few guilds have been stuck on Fetid Devourer for the longest time, being considered one of the strongest bosses in Mythic Uldir. Currently, it has seen significant nerfs, making the race to world first a little bit tighter, just like my date last night who was a little bit Let's talk World of Warcraft Battle for Azeroth. Let's talk about the community. The expansion started off with a successful week or two, but the overall enjoyment of the game seems to have dwindled amongst the community. A few people have made videos regarding this, and it's only fair we bite from the pie that is YouTube fame, so here goes. I like playing WoW. It's a fun game. It has a lot of personality. I grew up with the game, and I believe I am not the only one sharing these feelings.
Say it.
I'm not.
Say it.
No!
Say it.
But
Oh, yes.
it's hard not to feel like some of the content in the game is there to keep us subscribed. And before you burn me with your "it's supposed to keep you subscribed, that's the point of a subscription-based service with the regular release of content," torch and pitchfork, hear me out. Warfronts gave me a cool nostalgic feel when I went to gather resources, build my base, train my troops and assault the enemy. But I felt compelled to do them because the reward for doing it was outclassing all other content available to a 290 item level warrior. I was already doing Mythic Plus on my main, so I didn't really feel like going through normals and heroics on my warrior. Doing Warfronts felt like I was rewarded for a content that did not require much effort, was 100% unlosable and had very little replayability. Notice I'm using feel a lot because this is my impression. It's very subjective and it's of course biased. So treat it as such. I am actually concerned and interested to know what your impression is. Island expeditions on the other hand seem to be too much of a requirement for repeatable content where the reward doesn't feel like it's scaling with my next levels. I went from having traits on pretty much all my gear to getting Uldir and Warfront drops with no traits because my neck level was too low. For professions, you need 15 hydro cores to make a 355 item level crafted gear, meaning you are farming for at least 3 weeks Mythic 0 that drops 340 eye level gear only to craft a 355. This is good in my eyes. It's work you have to put in for an upgrade, and I feel rewarded when I finally will craft that 355 item level gear. Oh wait, Alchemy doesn't have any uses for hydrocores. I cannot sell hydrocores. I cannot trade hydrocores to my alt that can craft stuff with them. So really, they are just standing in my bag until I decide I don't want to make gold anymore and will switch to leatherworking. At the same time, Steve the Weed does a Warfront, gets a 370 item level gear, or does the same mythics with me and gets a Warforged item with up to 30 item levels higher. I will suddenly feel like my effort put into the crafted item will not be worth it anymore, and the guy killing heroic or Mythic Uldir will get a gear piece similar in strength to Steve the Weed's RNG. Noticing anything wrong here? Little things like these tend to add up, and people are noticing it. Topics have flooded Reddit and other forms of media with talks from big boys like Preach and Allcraft, and these all stem from our love of the game. I'm not a game developer, and I will probably never understand what it takes to make a good game that can also pay the salary of the developers. But I do like people voicing their opinions. It keeps things changing and Blizzard realizing that yeah, we might not be getting what we are paying for, or they are simply not living up to their own standards. Later today there will be a Reddit Ask Me Anything with Ian, where he graciously has thrown himself to the wolves, which is nothing if not commendable. Hop on there and post your question and see what Blizz has to say about our state of mind.
They will come for us now.
The community.
All of them!
I love Blizzard, always did, and WoW helped me keep my virginity for the longest time. I hope we can get the best WoW can offer because I've never felt more connected to a community before. I'm really curious to see what you guys think is the best feature so far, and maybe what grinds your gears, and hope it will be changed. Stay subscribed for daily WoW videos so I can justify my choice of career. Peace!